Hi guys, welcome to my video. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for this one. I've got my husband here with me and we are going to hang out with you guys and watch the video together so that we can kind of chit chat and comment sort of Mystery Science Theater 3000 style with you guys. So let's watch this dragonfly snail get made.
How many of these petals did you make?
I don't know, a bunch.
Guess.
Not a huge amount. Guess I'd say maybe 15.
It's more than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's probably pretty. Oh well, no, hold on.
Yep.
How many did I?
And you made, I think you make 2 of these flowers.
No, there's just one flower.
And it has a lot of petals.
Well, the center's just one like solid egg shape that I put like a indents in to make it look like petals.
Oh.
It's a little
Those
cheaty.
are cheater petals.
It's a little cheaty in the middle, yeah. Yeah, it has to be.
There was 5 on the table already. So maybe you were right with 15.
Well, there was some
there was
already
way more
on it too.
Let me put this one on. Let's try to count it.
I like how this is the commentary.
Yeah, this is the interesting part.
Yep, counting petals.
The little details. Oh, see, look at it. That's got 15. Probably. I think you're right. Now that I know the middle part's cheating.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Well, yeah.
Maybe slightly less.
I think the amount of video that it made made it feel like it was way more.
Yeah, because you edited this and there was like 4 hours of...
There was probably a solid 30 minutes of petals. Oh,
so 30 minutes of the 4 hours was just petals?
Yeah. I think most of the body... I feel like the body took less time than the petals.
Well, kinda, yeah, because petals are, little and fiddly. The body's just kind of a big tube.
Cube.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But also, I mean, even the full video footage that I took wasn't, it's not like I took footage of every single thing that I did.
Yeah. Next one, we need you to have a GoPro on your head. Every second. We'll do like a fast motion.
I bet that would be a headache to watch.
Decide in the comments. We should do one that is the entire it'll be a 15-hour video. We'll
my God.
Speed it up to be 1 hour long. And we will try to do a commentary to the time lapse.
Part of me is curious how long it actually takes me to do something like this, but part of me also doesn't want to know.
Well, this is sped up by 20%.
Yeah, and it still doesn't look like it for the most part.
So, let's say you captured half of what you were doing with the snail.
It definitely wasn't half, but for the sake of
1/3,
maybe. So, I didn't video much of the wings, and the wings definitely took quite a chunk of time. And the painting. I know I didn't video all the painting.
If you did, that's layers insane, of painting because there's it feels a lot like you did video all of it, if I'm honest with you.
I mean, I could be misremembering.
I watched that thing turn from this flesh color to all the way blue.
Yeah, but
and then I also watched the secondary coat, and then I also watched...
Oh, did I video the second coat?
Okay. Yes.
So maybe I videoed more or recorded more than I recall.
I don't know all what and I also watched all 4 wings get painted.
But I know I didn't record every all of the painting
because the little lines are so intense. Well, we're spoilers.
Well,
there's wings.
Well, I mean, it's a dragonfly.
Yeah, you've probably seen they will have seen the thumbnail, which will have it. But
and the video's been posted without commentary. So
spoilers.
If somebody wanted to be really crazy and watch both videos, then then
Um,
they'll already know what's coming.
yeah, but what if this is like the anime only people? We've just spoiled it for them. The music ones are like the manga. They're like, no, I only watch the anime. But yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, okay, so let's say you got 1/3 of it in the video. Like, then there's 2/3. If 1/3 was 4 hours worth of filming, then you'd be like 12 hours.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
You hope not?
I
I will
hope not.
guarantee you that took at least 12 hours.
I
Yeah.
don't like thinking about how long things take.
Yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, I don't think you realize how long any of these take.
No, I just zone in and just do it, and it takes as long as it takes.
Well, and you'll talk about, like, you're like, oh, well, this one didn't take me very long, and it's something that took like 10 plus hours, and it's like, that's a long time.
It doesn't feel long when I'm working on it. Like when I'm really focused on it and I'm just like trying to make it look the way I want it to, I don't realize how much time has passed by.
Yeah.
Which can be a good thing, but also can be a bad thing.
Sure. But yeah, I think a lot of these take longer than you realize.
I think that's a big reason why I often way underestimate how long something's going to take me to do.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, oh, I'll make 10 of these whatever snails this week, and then I'm like a day before I want to have them done, and crap.
What was I thinking?
I gotta try to hurry up and get these finished, or they're gonna be a day late, and I have to make these with that or whatever.
Yeah, I've watched that happen many times.
Yeah.
But no, there's, I mean, like I said, this is sped up 20%, and it still is like, it's just a lot of little tiny things.
Like, you gotta get his little smile just right.
Yeah, those little face is the best part.
And his face definitely evolves as it goes through, because at least until I bake it, because you gotta get it approximately right, and then once the eyes are on there, that changes it too. So then you gotta tweak things a little more.
Well, and I really like the coloring on. Well, once he gets spoilers, he gets colored. The final product of it looked really cool.
Yeah, I think it came out really cool. It's a more dynamic pose than I usually do, which is, it's trickier to do, but I think that it looks a lot more interesting in the end.
Is this the first? This is not the first, like, other bug one, but this is the first dragonfly one, right? I know there was a moth.
I've done lots of bugs, but this is the first dragonfly. I've wanted to do a dragonfly for a while, but I put it off for a long time. I had these actual dragonfly wings that I had found on a dead bug.
That's disgusting.
That I was gonna use, that I saved for like years. And then I started making this and I realized this is gonna be way too big to use actual dragonfly wings. I didn't mean to make it this big, but after I started sculpting it, it just kind of ended up being that size.
I'm glad.
What am I doing here? Why did you cut that out?
It's part of the process.
You kept in all my little screw ups and stutters?
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm watching this through because you did all the editing.
We watched the whole thing.
Did we?
Yeah, we sat down and watched the whole thing.
I blocked it out.
Yeah, I didn't catch this the first time either. Or, by the first time, I mean, I didn't catch this in any of the previous 5 or 6 watchings that I've done of it.
That's okay.
I also like those sort of things.
I mean,
it's like, it happens.
I can understand the appeal,
but
my OCD and my brain doesn't like it though.
Want to see the process. They love that. They see that and they go,
wow. They mess up all the time.
Yeah, look. This lady screws stuff up.
Maybe not being able to find my tools. Not knowing exactly what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh, you left all this in?
Yeah.
Stuttered and hesitated.
Part of the process.
Trying on the shell. I mean, it's fine to keep the trying on in, I guess. That's part of the process. You got to make sure it's going to look right before you
the dog hair off.
Put any more effort into it. Yeah, all the dog hairs.
So when you buy a snail, you get guaranteed at least one of our dogs.
At least. Even though I try my hardest to get rid of them.
You'll never see it. You'll never find it or know
it's under the paint. Or
under the paint. It's in the clay.
It's hidden within the resin somewhere, and I've obscured it with glitter and other things.
You will be able to clone our dog. One of them.
Well, luckily they're all pretty good, so, It's a high quality dog DNA stored within that
Yeah.
snail.
One thing, so the version of this video that has no commentary and has music, we've talked about this, but the AI, when there's an AI overview, and when
we've talked about
yeah,
this.
we've talked about this. We
Yeah,
haven't talked about this on here.
People haven't talked
But
about this.
basically, the AI thinks that you're watching a video of an actual like bugs like life process. It's like, oh, the video starts with the dragonfly snail's eggs, and like starts going through the life cycle of it, and it's just like, that's not what's happening at all.
I wish you had this like on hand to pull up, because it's so much more bizarre than you even described it. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say I could find it. Maybe we'll check.
We'll put it in the description.
We will also we'll double check it for the next video, and I'll have it ready for the next one to see what it thinks is happening.
Yeah, that's a fun
Maybe
idea.
like the next one needs to be one that will trick the AI.
No, it's gotta just organically happen. I can't be fishing around for weird AI things.
Dumping weird stuff into the video, I guess.
Don't worry, it'll be plenty weird, with whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next video. Usually just
you should use Marvel Rivals Snail.
No.
You do Venom, but with a little butt on it.
No.
Like in the game.
No.
What's popular right now? I don't know.
That's the only thing. I do it though. I don't do what's popular.
I know, but you should do someone.
I can't.
That's the key.
I can't
do a good YouTube video.
It's too forced, and it's too it's not.
Well, what
interesting enough for me
How are you gonna pick
to make it?
What is next?
I mean, I used to just do it totally random off of the suggestions that people made, and I still do sometimes, but like, I gotta be feeling it, or it just doesn't turn out as good. And it's not as interesting for my brain to work on it. I don't know. I've been doing lots of like flower things, springy things. So I need the good weather, and so my brain is like, oh, we'll just pretend it's springtime, even though it's still not quite there yet.
Do a disc golf snail.
I'm not making snails for you.
There's other people that like disc golf.
Yeah, but not who also want the snails. I don't think there's a very much
snail
crossover there.
In a shell, and then I'll throw it.
And then throw them, watch them spin.
Yeah.
If only there was some way to actually get that shot. I don't think that would quite. It'd be too much weight on the disc. To have a camera, because you'd have to have a camera on the disc to see the snail spinning. So to have a camera and a snail on a disc would be way too much weight.
Imagine trying to throw that.
Yeah, it'd be a mess. But it'd be really funny though.
That would be fun. Well, yeah, I guess it is like getting to be spring and summer, but I feel like this is even kind of like a spring summer one.
Yeah, but this was from a little while ago.
Well, yeah, but still like
I was itching for it.
You were ready for summer before it even got close.
Yeah, I hate wintertime. It's too gray and too cold and too dark. I need the sunshine.
I think you have to do one more winter one.
No.
For the fact that you did a spring, summer,
no way.
Winter.
I'm not. I was really not. I'm almost never feeling the winter ones, but I especially was not feeling the winter ones this year. The only winter ones I wanted to make this year were the snowmen, and I can't make a million snowmen, so
you can make
snow snails.
As many as you want.
No.
Trying to think of a good like summer thing. The problem is, you're right. My thoughts are limited to the things that I know and do, and that's Marvel Rivals and disc golf.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine those people like snails a lot.
That's why I like getting suggestions from people.
Do the One Piece snail.
I know. I need to do the One Piece.
I have been saying that since you started making snails, and you still haven't made them, and they would
pop
off.
Saying it. It's too much pressure.
Just do it.
I'm scared.
Look, they won't flame you unless you do a bad job.
It's like the Dragonfly Snail. I can't make it until I feel like I'm ready.
Well, watch all One Piece.
Then it won't be good enough. Yeah, okay. Well, give me about 100 years to catch up.
Didn't take me 100 years. Fine, sit down,
It's
and
too intimidating. It's like telling somebody to
sit down
watch
for
all of The
2 hours
Simpsons.
every day and read the manga, and then start watching the anime once you hit
I do
full
not
3
have
hours.
time for that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. There's other things I'd rather do.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry, I'm just being honest.
At
There's
least
times when I'm like, oh, I could watch an anime, or oh, I should watch One Piece or whatever, but it's almost always short-lived. And if I only ever did it on those occasions, I would never catch up anyway. So it's like, well, what's the point?
it's so good. Yeah,
I'll get there someday.
the snails would be good too, and they have it. It's built in. It's literally. It's
I
so
know, but
crazy because it's
that's the
their own
problem.
niche.
That's
It's
the
like
problem. I don't want to just make them the way that they are.
you do both. You do both.
Then that's double the work, and that's even more intimidating.
For one, that's perfect because you love to do double the work.
Figures and toys and stuff of the snail phones already exist.
You do
So
the
to
ones
just remake
that aren't
them.
out there that are the niche characters that people care about the most, like God Usopp, Soga King, the ones that you don't see the snail phone of in the show.
Sure.
So then,
but then I have to have an extensive enough knowledge of that character to be able to extrapolate and figure out what
I come in.
I'm sure that you could help with that quite a bit, but I also have to know myself so that
You do a Zoro
you
one.
know. See, I'd
and then
rather
I keep it.
I would rather make the characters as snails in the way that I usually make, like, people and stuff.
Yes, you do that too.
But
You do both.
I don't know how people would feel about that since there
That's
are
why
snails
you absolutely must do both. Like you do. No, it isn't.
I'm getting closer to being ready to tackle that mountain, but I'm just not quite there yet.
I think it would be amazing, and also that's all I would post on TikTok for weeks. I'd be like, I already am on every One Piece edit, like TikTok page.
Once I started doing it, I'd have to dedicate like a full year to doing these because there's so many characters too.
You don't do every character.
I know you don't do every character, but you're gonna tell me that once I start doing it, people aren't gonna comment and be like, "Oh, do this one, do this one, do this one."
You do the good ones. You do Luffy.
The good ones.
You do God Usopp. You do Soga King.
Well,
you do Brook. You do Chopper. You do Nami. You do
all the main
Yamato.
people. But there's gonna be secondary characters and tertiary characters that people are gonna want too.
I didn't even list half the actual crew.
Sure. Yeah, but I just mean like
Soga King, and we don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. We'll see. I should know this stuff before I start trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a whole mountain. It's a whole mountain of information that my brain is going to have to take in.
You're never going to get it all.
And then a whole mountain of work that I'm going to have to do to actually make them twice.
People will lose their tiny little minds about it.
That's insulting.
Well, I just mean One Piece people. We're very focused on One Piece and it shrinks our brain.
No, I don't think that's true. There's lots of big brain people that like One Piece.
Yeah. Oda, creator of One Piece.
Sure, yeah.
The body has finally like started to come fully into like shape now.
Well, the body's been baked at this point, and it's just the
you're adding
eyes.
The details.
I've started. So I used to make the whole snail and then bake it and then paint it if I needed to or whatever, depending on how I made it. Oh, another dog here. But as time's gone on, I've started like I'll make part of it and then I'll bake it and then I'll add on another part of it and then I'll bake it, and like I'll do it in stages depending on how complicated it is, especially for something like this where it's
just for like stability.
Yeah, where it's a pose that's maybe not going to hold up as well in the oven, even though it has wires in it and stuff. When the clay goes in the oven, it does for like a certain amount of time get kind of soft, and so there can be like sagging and like it can just become malformed in different ways. Usually pretty subtle, but just for the sake of trying to avoid cracks and stuff. I baked the body first and then added on the eyes. I think I must have added the shell on like at the same time as I baked the body because there's a wire connecting the shell to the body. I don't know. I don't think that part was in the video, but that's.
Yeah, no one cares about that part. They want to see you messing up putting the shell on.
Well, you gotta have some wires just for extra integrity.
You need people to know about the wires.
I mean, I don't need them to, but I don't know. If I was gonna purchase a sculpture like this, I would want to know that it is as structurally sound as it can be.
Mm.
And all that to say that the eyes are just inherently delicate no matter what I do, because they're, the thinner they are, the more breakable they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are wires in the eyes, but I don't know.
Oh, in the stalks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't think there's like the eyes themselves are just marbles.
Well, yeah, the eyes themselves are glass balls.
Can we please call them marbles?
These were not marbles specifically. They're slightly smaller than marbles. I don't know if that's accurate to call them marbles.
Is a marble like a standardized size?
I think so.
Oh.
I mean, maybe a small marble, I guess. I feel like all the marbles I've ever seen are one of two sizes.
The big size and the small size. I was thinking about this on the drive home. I want to get some of my rocks turned into marbles.
getting your marble ants in your pants again?
Yeah, I want to do marble racing, but I want to do it with cool marbles.
I wonder, we got some cool marbles a while back. I don't know what I did with those. I think we put them in the planters and stuff.
I want to get my rocks that I have made it.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I just mean, like, we do have some marbles somewhere, or we did. But yeah, so they're just glass balls, but then the wire can only go up so far because they can't go through the glass. So it goes up to the glass and then stops. And of course, the clay around it helps, but just don't drop them. That's just a good.
Don't drop
good general
any snail,
rule.
please.
No, yeah, don't. Yeah, sculpted or living. Don't drop any
Definitely
snails.
not sculpted.
Well, I mean, I'd rather you not drop a living one because
because it might be sentient.
That's gonna be way more detrimental to a poor little snail.
Oh, his little eyelid.
Don't drop his happy little face. Ugh, it's so tedious blending all the eye bits together.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying before. It's just so many tiny little things. Like, that's where, like, a long time ago you said, like, well, just anyone, if they could just make it themselves. It's like, this is so much annoying little work, like, that no one's going to sit and take the time to do. Like,
not no one.
I mean, but most people don't have the time to do this. Like,
it's definitely more noticeably tedious to watch it back than it is for me to, like, do it in the moment. Like, watching this, I'm just like, okay, just skip all of this. We don't need to see all the pinching and poking.
People want to see the pinching and poking because this is how it's made. This is the whole thing. It's all that's the thing, Brittany. It's all pinching and poking.
It is.
It's just 1,000,000 bits of it.
It's all fiddling and looking for little bumpy areas and smoothing them out, and then finding new ones and trying to smooth them out. But then you bump into something else, and then you have to smooth that out.
Yeah. It's literally, that's the whole thing, is it's just you are pinching and poking this thing at little bits at a time from the time it's little to the time it's done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for the painting. I don't think you pinch it and poke it for the painting.
This silicone tool really is the goat, though, because it does a lot of the difficult stuff for me that I would not be able to do with just my fingers. It's falling apart, though. I need to fix it better.
Get a new one.
No. It still works. As long as the silicone's not ripped, then I can still use it, but I do need to give it a little TLC.
Just give it a...
So wasteful. Wing time!
The wings. I think that you had, like, you had a bunch more wing video than what I used.
I mean, there were There's 4 wings, or 4 like sections of wings.
Also,
would you say a dragonfly has 4 wings?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think all 4 of them are pretty separate unto themselves, but
I can't tell if that is 4 or if that is 2 with 2 sections.
I feel like that's 4.
But on the
think they're
sculpture, it's 4 certainly.
Yeah, I don't think they're connected at the body.
But the other, so when you were filming this, your camera ran out of space, and so
Oh, it cut off. Yeah, that's
it cut
right.
off. There's like a weird cutoff that I tried to like
that you
edit
left
around.
in for the charm.
No, I tried to fit because like it was like literally right in the middle of you doing detailed painting. Like I did not want to cut it out at all.
Oh.
I think I did because it was so just jarring and just like.
Yeah.
Oh, I did a weird sound effect.
That's okay. You did it yourself. It's organic from the mouth.
Okay, organic from the mouth.
It is really interesting because this is the first video that you've edited, so it's interesting for me to see what you decided to keep in.
Yeah.
As opposed to what I usually would just toss.
I have a fresh eye.
Yeah, I think it lends a different perspective.
If you told me this video had to be 20 minutes long, I don't know what I would have done. I'd still be sitting there trying to figure out what to take out. Because I took out stuff just to make it this long, that I was like, that was a mistake.
Well, and it's still like an hour.
It's an hour, yeah.
I'm so used to making short videos that it's hard for me to keep them long without feeling like it's just super boring and way too much.
People, if someone is watching a video of something being made that's art, like those people like to see the little details, I feel like. Also, you can watch it on 2x speed.
That's true.
Like
maybe not with us talking now.
No, 100% they could listen to it on 2x speed with us talking. We don't talk fast. We're not like freaks.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I probably talk a little slow, if anything.
Unless you get really excited.
Maybe I'd be better at 2x speed.
Maybe. The only one way to find out.
I'll listen to it afterwards. I'm gonna watch it. Once it goes up, I mean, I'm gonna watch it. The dogs are gonna watch it. This will be a new one for the dogs to be able
when the dogs are home alone.
Finally, they'll have one with my voice.
Just actually making these videos for the dogs. No one else.
No one else is watching. Well, that's not true. I think the one with no commentary has like
people
200 views.
Some people are certainly watching them, but
yeah, there was a lot more.
God, you left all this in?
There was because this is important because it doesn't make sense to some people how it works.
Okay, so I hadn't really made a wing this way before, so I was also kind of figuring it out. So I made it in a thin sheet and let it cure just enough that it wasn't like goopy and runny, and then was trying to hold it in the shape of the wire wing structure so that it would like fit the form once it was cured.
I cut out so much of that.
Good.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of me fumbling and
it was crazy.
Stuff.
But then, so there was all of that, but then you get like the part that's crazy is when you're doing the little detail painting, and there was like 40 minutes of you making that wing thing, but then there's like maybe 4 minutes of you painting.
It's because
this is why it skips. That's why it skips to.
Yeah, this was very tedious, and I was like, okay, well, I'll record some of painting one of these wings, but there's 4 wings, and it's just painting all of these little segments.
Is what people will want.
But
this is like the little detail.
It's not even like cool. It's like mostly random. I mean,
but it's about the finished product.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just not very exciting to watch the same repetitive.
Yeah, but that's what makes it cool is because like. If you handed me that wing and just said, do random pattern on your like wing, it would not look cool and look like a wing. It would look terrible.
Well, I guess it's only random to a certain extent. It has to have the general...
Sure, but
things in nature are kind of random.
I still wouldn't be able to do
that. Making sure it fits right before I
there was like a solid hour of just painting this guy blue
Put
too.
it in for sure. Well, yeah, because unfortunately with most of the paints that I use, because they're thin, that takes multiple coats. But they have to be thin or it gets real chunky and
Yeah.
you see all the
Oh, I
strokes and
get it.
stuff.
I totally get it.
Waiting for paint to dry is like my favorite extracurricular
Yeah,
activity.
you just like that's horrible.
That's one good thing about having multiple snails going on at the same time. Because even as I'm working on this, I'm working on other things at the same time. You just don't see that part of it. But like while this is drying, I'm working on something else, and then
Maybe that should be the next video, is just video all of what you're doing in sequence in a day.
ugh,
And then it'll
gross.
just be a video where you watch like 1/3 of 5 different snails get made.
And see no resolution whatsoever.
And we'll show the final snails at the very end.
Ugh. No, that wouldn't. I don't think that would make for a good video.
No, it wouldn't.
Just give somebody mental whiplash
That's
with all
more
the
of
back
a
and forth.
that's more of a flex video if you want to flex how much you work.
No, I don't. I don't need anybody to know how much I work. That's private information.
I don't want people to not know. It's insane.
No,
It's too much.
it's private information. No one's allowed to know that. Not even
Yeah.
me, because I don't keep track
you have
of
no
it.
idea. You're like, yeah, this snail
Top
took
secret.
me 4 hours. It's like, you're wrong.
It feels
You
like
are
it.
insanely wrong.
That's like 4 hours.
You, when you're like trying to decide how much to put them onto the store for, and you're like, well, this only took me a few hours, and I'm just like thinking like, okay, I've been watching her work on that for the last 3.5 days, so there's no shot that there's only 4 hours in that.
Let's not get into pricing, because
No,
that makes
I'm not
me
going
so
to.
anxious.
I'm not going to, but yeah, it's crazy.
We'll
You
see.
have no idea how long the things take, and you do them.
Okay, so I painted this dragonfly a dark blue so that anywhere that it showed in the little cracks and crevices that I didn't cover with this part would still be,
Bluish.
not a glaring beige color.
Yeah, not going to be. So the blue base coat is just to hide the flesh tone.
It makes the final coats, look nicer.
I
Gives a good undertone to the whole thing.
It's too bad that the colored clays have different qualities, kind of like you talked about, like some of them not having the same flexibility. And,
yeah, it depends on the specific type, even within the same brand. Because I mostly use Sculpey, but Sculpey has original Sculpey, and they have Primo Sculpey and Sculpey 3. And
which one's the flesh one?
the flesh one is, oh no, off the top of my head. It's been a while since I had to buy
it was
more.
a fancier one.
It is a different one. Oh no, I don't know the answer to this question.
That's fine. Here.
Super Sculpey, that's what it is.
We didn't pause.
Totally didn't pause to
We
look that
didn't
up real
pause
quick.
to look at it.
So the beige is Super Sculpey, but anytime I do colored clay, I prefer Sculpey 3 because it's really soft and easily blendable. Some people don't like that though because of fingerprints, and it's they say it's too soft. But the Primo Sculpey I really don't like because it's way too hard and rubbery. Even when I try to warm it up and prep it and stuff, it's still, I don't like it. And I can't always find the color I want in the type that I want.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's easier to just paint it and, blend the paint colors together.
Well, and I mean, there's definitely things that you can't get from using the solid colored clay that you can get from painting. Like, you're not going to use a bunch of tiny little colored clay pieces to do every little dot.
You certainly could. It would have a different look in the end and could be really cool. But
I think that would be really cool, but that would just be so labor intensive.
Yeah, it'd be mega tedious, especially with
getting that all flat.
Trying to make sure that it is adhered to the clay, because you could make the whole thing out of blue clay and then bake it and then put the lighter blue pieces on to make the colored spots. But you'd have to put some kind of clay adhesive in between in order to make sure that it's adhered well. I mean, unless you just wanted to be mega careful and then seal it afterwards, I guess. But my anxiety won't let me just smack clay on top of clay and call it good. I've got to put the adhesive in between to make sure it's like actually going to stick well. Because you can
Yeah.
pop clay off of clay if like if you bake it and then bake another piece on top of the baked clay, you can just pop it off pretty easily.
Yeah. Of course. Why would? Yeah. It's not like it's a huge, like a super well bonded connection. I totally get it.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't know
didn't
what
think
other
you
people
would
do,
even do
but
that.
yeah, I don't know what other people do, but I feel like there are definitely some other people who do polymer clay stuff who don't bother with that. But I don't know. For me, it makes me too anxious not to.
What freaks?
Well, that's not necessary. Let's not be name calling now.
I didn't say their name, but you should.
No, I don't have any specific names in mind. Maybe they edit it out of their videos. I don't know. I don't know what people do
I just start name dropping all these other ones.
that you don't even know.
I don't even know.
You're
I've
just
never
spouting
watched
off
their
names.
videos.
You're just to spout them.
Crandon's Clay Workshop. He
That's
doesn't do it.
that's not a thing.
He doesn't even use it.
It's not even a real thing.
Is now. I made it up.
That's your clay thing. It's your alter ego.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my own clay channel where I make slugs.
You're gonna become my competitor?
Yeah.
That's so rude.
Instead of sugar spice snails, it'll be gross dead slugs.
Oh god. Well, that's not really competitive. I mean, I wouldn't mind some competition anyway, but
Yeah, I'll do a bunch of dead slugs, and they'll have the same eye shape, but they'll all be dead.
you're just gonna like perfectly copy my style in every way.
Except no shell.
But just no shell.
And they're always dead.
You just start making the snails that I've made just with no shell, and they just have X's for eyes.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
And they're all like flopped over in a pile.
That'd be kind of funny though if they were, you know, if you did it well, it'd be kind of funny.
Oh, I would do it so good because I would just wait till you go to sleep and I'd use your table and all your tools.
It's like where's half my materials going all the time? What's happening?
Secret. It'd be my secret side hustle.
That'd be quite the feat, actually, for you to have the time to do that. You're a busy boy too.
No, I'm not.
Sure you are. Sure you are. I mean, I see what you're doing most of the time. If you're doing this while I'm sleeping, then what the heck else are you doing? You're just gonna be sleeping during the day then.
No.
You gotta sleep.
I no longer sleep.
No, it's only so many hours in a day.
I get a privacy screen on my computer. I guess I couldn't make a snail on my computer. What am I talking about?
No. You're gonna 3D print them. You're gonna just scan. That's what you should do.
Scan them.
You scan in the snails like as soon as I get them done, and then you just alter the 3D model to make them dead, and then 3D print them when I'm away.
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, too much work.
I need to do it by hand like you do it, but it's not as cool. I think a 3D printed snail is kind of boring, to be honest.
I don't know. I've never 3D printed one. It could be cool.
The reason that these are cool to me is because you're like making them. Like, I think that making the like file, like going into the program to make one of these in like as an art, like a 3D art thing, that could be cool, and then printing that and seeing that outcome. But if I just scan one that you made by hand,
That's
and then
cheating.
that is boring.
What
and
if
cheating.
I scanned one that I made?
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
That is fine because you made it. You took the time
fair.
to hand make it to make the file. Like, it's the art of making it that makes it cool. Like, and like even at that point, if you enjoy that art, that's why you buy that 3D printed thing, or you make that 3D printed thing, because you want to remember the art that was made. Like,
that's fair.
I think that like that's why you'd do something like that, because in the end it's just a reproduction, so it's not as cool as the original thing, but it is still cool to know somebody made this actual thing.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't know though. I think that if you scanned it in and and then edited the model in the way that you were talking about, of like making it all sloped over. And well, yeah, but like, you know, that would also be, you know,
I was just gonna take real slugs.
kill them and scan them. That's messed
Not
up.
even scan them. I was gonna make them out of, like, I was gonna put a little clay on top of them.
You're just gonna slap some paint on a dead slug and call it done.
And seal it.
Yeah, that's awful.
Seal it in resin.
Oh my gosh.
I like, well, see, now that the colors have started to like fully be on it, that's when it looked cool to me. It kind of reminds me of the Life Aquatic Team Zissou colors.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is very similar colors to that. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I've always enjoyed that color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one reason I like this snail a lot. Is I love the color scheme.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what color I was gonna make the dragonfly. I was originally considering making it all shiny and glittery like I did with the jewel beetle.
Yeah.
But
iridescent.
yeah. But then when I was looking at reference pictures of dragonflies, I saw a blue one and I was like, that one looks really cool.
So is this like based off the coloration of a real one?
Loosely. There was a blue dragonfly reference picture that I found that it may or may not have had the yellow in it too, but I don't know. I just thought it looked cool, so I was like, oh, that's inspiring. And then I did something, you know, reminiscent, sort of, I guess. Oh, you could have cut all that out.
No, I like having it staring directly into your soul. I intentionally left that in.
While I get the paint on the brush.
I love I tried to basically almost always have the parts where the guy, like the guy, when the dragonfly is staring straight into your soul. I also, that's where I try to like make the cuts. If it were possible, where like for us to have it in a static position, I would love to have just every single cut in the video, like after you moved him, would be the exact same positioning, so it cuts and then like he's just staring at you. That would be so impossible to do.
It's hard for me to even keep the camera centered for most of this.
Well, also this is one in particular, since it's so like tall and long.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get the same detail and also like get the whole thing in the shot.
Yeah, it really is.
That was I also thought the same thing, where I was just like, this would be so great if it were like all the way in the shot, but then it's like, how? Like what do you do?
Yeah, it's either be zoomed way out so you can see the whole thing, or be,
and you can't see
where it's chopped off to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching it on a ginormous screen, there's no way to have both, unfortunately.
Well, and the autofocus like really didn't like the snail either, because it was so tall.
The autofocus never likes any snail ever.
It wants to look at the foreground so bad, but like there's got to be some, we'll figure that out.
He's too dynamic. But even with regular snails just like sitting on the ground, their eye stalks usually cause issue because they tend to be closer to the camera at any given moment, so it wants to either be focused on the eyes or the body, not both.
Yeah, that's another reason why I kept like a lot of spots where it was like looking at the eyes, but it right here, it really was hard because it wants to look at your finger, but I want it to just focus on the eyes so bad.
Yeah, I should have.
It looks so cool.
I should have manually focused this part, but I also thought, he'll cut out the stuff that's
nope.
or I'll cut out, because at the time I thought I probably
joke's on you.
Yeah,
I love this stuff.
You love all the mess ups.
This is the coolest part. The eyes look so cool. I'm not gonna cut out the eyes.
I am really happy with how the eyes came out on this. That was like one of my big things that I wanted to do from the start, was have these little rhinestones for the eyes.
Yeah, this definitely, I think, is one of the cooler parts of the snail.
It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. I thought this was going to be like the most tedious part, but I think the wings were probably the most tedious part.
It is insane for you to say that while we're watching this, because look at how freaking tedious and like tiny these are. Like these are so tiny, and
But
you're
they fit
grabbing
together
one
pretty
by
well.
one.
They fit together pretty
I
well.
don't even know how. How are you picking that up?
The end of the toothpick is just a little bit wet.
That's it?
That's it. It's just the wetness of the water.
That's crazy.
And then I used a layer of the same sealant that I use over the whole thing towards the end, the water-based polyacrylic. I just like painted a little over the eye, and then that's what's sticking it to it. That way it'll be, transparent.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I put resin over it.
I definitely would not be able to do this. Like, my hands are too shaky to, like, if you would have said, here, pick up 100 of these little tiny little jewels and put them on this eye, I'd be like, okay, I'm fired.
Your hands being shaky would be way more of an issue with the wings, painting all those little thin
Yeah,
lines.
all of it. Brittany, yes. Both. Yeah.
This at least you can just stick it on there and then look, scooch
Nope,
them into place.
because I
You
would
just
be
scooch 'em into
I would
place.
be
No
pushing
biggie.
them off of the eye, and then I have to
Well, then you just push them right back. That's
I'd
fine.
fix it 100,000
That's
times.
fine.
It'd be dry before it was done.
I believe in you.
Oh, no. This part was crazy to me. And again, this is sped up by 20%.
I keep forgetting that.
This looks like what you'd think the normal speed would be, but this is actually quite a bit faster than the actual video was.
I'd be like, speed it up by like 105%.
No. That was,
and only show one of them getting placed.
I speeded it up by 50% at one point, and I was like, this isn't as enjoyable. Like, because you lose so much of like the process. Like, this is what makes it amazing that you've done this, because it is like, it is so tedious. Like, it's just like, the attention to detail is crazy, but like, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know what people are gonna want to see or care to see. Who knows? I can't read minds.
You can't read minds.
It's probably for the best, though.
Leave it in the comments, though, guys. Tell us exactly what you want to see so we can cater to you.
Yeah, comments are always helpful.
If you comment what you want to see, there is a non-zero chance that it will just be done.
I'm 100% always open to suggestions and
She's 100% open to suggestions, and there is at least a 10% chance that they will actually happen.
I mean, as long as they're reasonable, I'd say it's much higher than that.
Well, but what if one person likes something and everyone else is like, I hate that?
I might try it once. I could do it for one video.
No.
And see how it does. No? No?
No. If someone's like, I like this thing, and someone also says, I hate this thing, we're just not going to do it.
I mean, basically the entirety of the snails in
They've
general
canceled each other out.
Has been based on people suggesting things.
I would love for people to suggest things, and I would also love to do them if they're good.
Well, most likely it won't be something you'll have to do. It'll be something I'll have to do.
Well, suggest anything you want in the making of the snail, but if you have suggestions about the editing of the video,
no,
and they aren't easy,
suggestions of that are good also. No. Suggestions of all kinds are welcome.
Suggestions of all kinds are welcome, and any ones that don't have to do with the editing of the video will maybe be done.
You just don't want more work for yourself.
I don't. I'm not very good at this, guys.
You don't. Well, this is only the first time you've done it. You can't expect to be perfect at it.
If you're not good, I think what everyone needs to understand here is if you're not good at things immediately, you're never going to be good at it.
Hard disagree.
Brittany made one snail and instantly was good at it.
That's not true.
Just like everything else she does.
That's not true, and they've evolved drastically over time.
Okay, so there's a difference between you were good at it, it's just that now you're even better at it. Not like us noobs.
Well, but that's how everything works. The more you do it, and the more you learn about it, the better you get at it.
No, don't listen to her, guys.
Ugh.
She has been good at art the whole time I've known her.
A Debbie Downer.
And it was basically instantly. You're just naturally skilled. And she has more patience.
You have no idea how much time and effort I put into
I know exactly how much
and
time.
stuff.
And you have succeeded, but you also started good because you're just like an art virtuoso.
It's debatable.
I've seen your art from the time you were a young child.
I really wished I'd had a better way to like stick these wings on. I was really worried that it wasn't going to be
And they're good
solid
enough.
enough. Yeah. But there really just wasn't any way around it that I could figure out because I needed the wings to be detachable so that I could make them out of resin and then attach them because the resin can't go in the oven.
Yeah. So all of the plastic parts get done at the end then. Like the resin and all that.
Yeah. It can't go in the oven
But the
with the UV
paint
resin.
can?
The paint can, for the most part. For the most part, the paint can.
That's interesting.
There are some colors of paint that I've found, and probably some specific brands. I imagine some brands would do this with some colors and some brands wouldn't, but there are some colors that I've put in the oven that like they'll come out slightly darker or they'll crack or like if they have clay adhesive on them, they'll change color entirely. There's one specific type of white that I have that if it gets clay adhesive on it and goes in the oven, then it comes out like this weird burnt orange color.
No. Mm. That's
And then
interesting.
you got to repaint it, which is not that big of a deal, but it's a little
Oh.
annoying. Oh, the flower
1,
wasn't
2, 3,
pink enough.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't count all
I
those.
wanted to make
It's
the
less than
flower
15.
more pink, so I painted it too. I wasn't planning on doing this. That's why it's like tacked on at the end. Oh, you were counting the petals again?
Yeah, it's less than 15. But I couldn't. I stopped counting because I didn't know if I was counting the same ones. Center doesn't count. The egg doesn't count, baby.
13? 13 or
Yeah,
14?
I think
It's pretty
it's
close.
less than
If you count the egg also, then
well,
it's basically
you don't
15.
count the egg because
You can
that is
count it
not a
as
petal.
one.
It's not a petal.
You can count it as one, even though it's made to look like 3. I feel like you can count it. It's
I'm
a
not
part of
gonna.
the flower.
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna.
It doesn't matter.
There was something about this part too.
Yeah, you kept way more of this in than I would have.
Yeah, I think that's what when we watched this last time, you said something like that as well, and that's when I went on my whole spiel of people want the details.
Yeah, you are on that spiel a lot.
It's because there's so many little things that just change how it looks so much.
Yeah, little tiny differences make a big difference, especially like it's especially noticeable in things like the eyes and like facial expressions. Just like the tiniest little like micrometer in any direction can change the way it looks, I think.
Well, and you said that like it didn't look pink enough. I would have never thought you were gonna leave it the way that it was before. I thought this was always the plan.
That was
this
my
looked
original
so good.
intention. No, my original intention was just to have it be like shiny pinkish, but it just wasn't pink enough. So I wanted to like darken the tips, but then I started darkening it and I couldn't get the fade right. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll just extend this down the whole petal. And then I think I go back and do a little more at the ends once I get the whole thing covered. A lot of making these snails is me kind of just figuring things out where they just figuring out how to do things as I go. Because even if I've made a flower 10 times, it's going to be different almost every time I make it in some way or another. Because I'm going to forget what I did, or something's going to go slightly differently than it did before. And
one has to like match with like what you're making at that time too.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be
yeah,
exactly the same.
yeah. Learning a little bit as I go every time. I think that's just part of like the process of like getting better at things too. I think that's part of why I don't see the difference in like the snails themselves as much as I'm like going from snail to snail. But when I look like 50 snails back, it's like, oh, that's a huge difference. Like, look how much things have changed. Because all those little slight differences add up over time.
Yeah, that's because of your innate ability.
Gosh.
The rest of us see no difference because in our 50th snail versus our first one, because they all look like crap.
How many snails have you made? Maybe if you made
well
50,
over
you'd see a
200.
difference.
I've made 200-300 snails.
No, you haven't.
I do while you're asleep and I throw them away afterwards.
Maybe make a snail or two and then we'll talk.
I'll make a snail and and we'll put it at the end of a video. And you guys can then decide if what I'm saying is accurate, that there's
Well, you
innate
gotta make
ability
more than
involved.
one. That way you can see the
Brittany,
comparison.
I told you, if you're not good at it immediately,
That's
it's
not how
pointless to ever
anything
do it again.
works. No.
That's how I've lived my life.
Well, that
And
explains a
look
lot.
I have a beautiful wife, and I have wonderful children, and it's because I mastered those two things. That was it. It's my innate ability.
Oof, that's no.
Bad at
No,
everything
baby.
else,
Well,
except good at picking who to be married to and having kids.
you gotta. I mean, that's very sweet of you, but some things take time and learning, and that's okay.
Oh, what is happening there? Weird glitchiness.
That's happened a couple times while we've been watching this. I think it's just a matter of it playing the video and recording the audio at the same time.
Let us know in the comments if you see a glitchiness.
Well, you said we're gonna rewatch it afterwards, so you'll notice it.
Well, I'm gonna rewatch it. We're not rewatching it before we post it.
Oh my gosh. You gotta watch things before you post them.
No.
Check for mistakes and.
Because then you'll know. I like how you have like the outline of the flower petal on your fingers.
Yeah, my hands are always covered in paint, at least a little bit. Always a little bit of paint everywhere on my hands.
A shield to protect you from UV rays.
Yeah, or to spread all over the place and make a mess. Cause me problems that I have to repaint later.
That's just extra paint.
Where I attached the wings, so I super glued the wings in, and then I put UV resin over that to kind of have a smoother transition between the wing and the body. And then now I've painted over that and putting the spots back that I accidentally covered up.
Oh, gotcha. And remember, guys, if you've made it this long to the video, smash like and subscribe.
Yeah, all the YouTube things. Do all the YouTube things.
Press all the buttons on there.
All the buttons. Just smash your keyboard on your phone or computer.
I'm not saying that because we're at the end of the video, but I am saying it because if we're getting this far, we appreciate it.
We're getting pretty close.
I
keep thinking it's almost over, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, I also did this thing.
No, there's still definitely a decent chunk left.
Can't have a snail without slime.
Yeah, you gotta have slime.
But since he's flying, it has to be kind of drippy.
Yeah, because he's in the air.
Yeah, it's just raining slime all over the place.
There was a lot of this portion that got cut out too. There was so much more to that, but it was just literally like, how do I make this not 4 hours?
Making the drips is something that I get questions about fairly often.
You told me to leave. Yeah, you told me specifically to leave it in, so I made sure there was at least one, but that was not there originally, and that caused the whole editing room kerfuffle.
Yeah, but it's part of learning how to edit.
Good.
And now next time you'll know how to do that. Well, so your editing skill has increased.
I haven't. No. I'm going to just do it again the same way.
Oh, goodness.
It's just going to be identical to this, basically. It's because I wasn't born with that innate talent.
Oh my gosh.
That's why, like, Agatha's really good at Gorilla Tag, but, like, nothing else. And so, that's her life now.
I don't think our daughter is gonna only ever be good at Gorilla Tag. I think she'll be fine.
Impossible to say.
So to make the drippies, I used fishing line to get the general kind of shape curve that I wanted, and then put UV resin on it, and then attached it to the snail with more UV resin, and then layered more UV resin over that in multiple coats. I'm surprised you left so much of this bottom part in, because this is just like, the bottom of the whole thing.
That's the thing is, I didn't leave so much of it in.
Oh.
I left maybe 1/10 of it that you shot in.
This just took also more time than I thought.
This is sped up 20%.
Ugh, gosh. Why did I spend so much? Well, I know why I spent so much time on the bottom, but...
It comes out looking really cool, but you'll see where I cut it, because I was like, I absolutely can't just not show this at all, but also there's no good part to cut at, and so I think it's right after you get but it's coming.
It's gonna cut at some point.
It's gonna cut,
eventually.
and it's gonna be almost like completely painted. It's gotta be. I thought it was gonna be right there. So like your hand's gonna move away. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit more painted. There's still more to come, but
yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like, I just cut 20 minutes out.
I don't know about 20 minutes.
No, I'm saying that accurately.
Goodness.
Would before sped up, like, but also like it looks really cool, and it's also the same thing that I was saying before. It was like there's so much little time and detail that goes into it that like it is important to show. Like, yes, this is a long part, but like you put a lot of work into like to these little details, and it's interesting also because like someone's gonna put this on a shelf and they will look at the bottom twice. They'll look at it once before they put it down, and their loved ones will look at it again when they pick it up after their funeral.
I had a ceramics professor who told me to always make sure to finish the bottom of ceramic pieces, because even though it's the bottom, like, people are going to pick it up and look at it. And I think maybe that stuck a little more than I realized, because with any of the snails, I try to give equal attention to every angle of it.
Yeah,
you know, not just the front that you're going to see the most.
But you got to paint the back too.
Yeah, the whole thing needs to be just as good the whole way around.
I would love to see a snail where you do it perfectly, but only when viewed from one direction. So the rest of it just looks like complete and utter
just
garbage.
Just
if you turn it even slightly, it just is like an unfinished, like, but from that one angle, it's just perfect.
Just like tin foil and wires and stuff all sticking out the back.
Charge half price for it.
Don't even bother to like fully cover it in clay. That'd probably be kind of difficult to do, actually, with the way that I usually make them.
Yeah, it would be very difficult, I think.
You have to like literally cut it in half at some point, I think.
Send it to the water jet people.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, send them a snail.
But then I'd want to like make the inside of it have like weird something where when you cut it, you like see a picture
just, like,
or see like the organs or something.
Ball inside of it. If you did that, you put organs in it and then told people, yeah, they're all like this.
Like make a little snail, like, even though snails don't have skeletons, obviously, but make like a skeleton and put little like human type organs in it.
And the water jet people cut it in half.
Meat over it, and then the skin over it, and then cut it in half. That'd be pretty cool.
And then you tell people, yeah, they're all like that. You cut yours open, it's just like that.
No, that's not
snail
true.
market through the roof.
Oh my God, no. I mean, I would certainly hope that people wouldn't fall for that. But also, I would never tell people that, because that's not true. Most of them are just solid.
Guys, if you cut your snails
clay
in half,
all the way through,
there's a surprise inside.
No, the surprise is more clay.
Inside of there's a little surprise.
Do not destroy your snails, please.
And if you need a new one, fill up that empty space on the shelf afterwards.
No, absolutely not. Do not destroy your snails, please.
If you take your Eddie from Stranger Things snail and you cut him in half, inside there's a demon.
No.
It's a little demon Eddie, like from in the show.
No.
You see, it's a spoiler for the new season. They gave us this intel.
No.
He is coming back. So if you cut that one open...
Didn't that whole show get canceled? What do you mean new season? Isn't it like all done?
No, I don't think so.
No. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope so. That was the best, probably the most of one snail that you sold was the freaking Eddie.
Yeah, I don't think there's any single character that I have made as many times.
Fantastic Four, that guy is the Human Torch, so go ahead and just start making a bunch of those.
Well,
people love that fella.
You know, we'll see.
Yeah, do Fantastic Four ones.
Superhero snails have never been a very big thing.
Because you don't do them when the movies are coming out. You do random ones. You did Spider-Man and Superman together.
Hey, if they're
doesn't
not
make any sense.
If they're not popular when the movies aren't coming out, then they're not popular.
Brittany?
If people don't like them at their least popular, then they don't deserve them at their most popular.
Out of control. And that is just totally inaccurate. People love Bucky they love the Winter Soldier. Do Winter Soldier snail.
Oh my gosh.
Little metal tail.
You know, cutting open the snails is definitely a bad idea, but if you did that with the magnets, some of them have things inside of them, but if they do, you can see
So
it when they're complete as well. So
yeah, so
don't
when
cut
you
them
cut
either.
open
But
the magnets, they got candies in there you can eat.
no, no, nothing
I've eaten a
edible.
few of them.
Nothing edible has ever been put in or on
There's
a snail.
there's a couple that have candies in there. So
No,
if you
wrong,
got a bunch of snails on your fridge,
wrong.
go ahead and start. You can cut them open, eat the candies.
No, none
Those
of
are
the
for you for
no,
buying them, and then
no.
then
None
you
of
can
the
get a
fridge
new one.
snails have any edible properties. Do not eat any snails. None of the
Check with
snails,
us before you. Well,
fridge or otherwise.
I'll let
Don't check with him.
if you
He'll
check
lie
with
to
me.
You're gonna get us in trouble. You can't be telling people
You can
things like
find me in
that.
the comments of
It's
almost
dangerous
every TikTok. If you
misinformation.
find me in the comments, I'll tell you which ones.
Someone's gonna choke on a snail and then
I'll tell
sue
you which
you.
ones you can
Be
eat.
like, that guy told me I could eat a snail magnet.
If you search, if you find me in the comments and you say
No,
something, I'll give you the heads up on the good ones
wrong,
to eat.
wrong.
You can also find me under the Crazy Aaron Silly Putty giving
Oh
mouthfeel
God,
ratings.
yeah, that's no. No to all of that. You and your putty shenanigans.
Actually, if any of you find me in a Crazy Aaron Silly Putty comment, I will send you a snail.
No, you can't just give away my
It'll be a
snails.
magnet. I'll send you a magnet. I'll buy it and I'll send it to you.
Oh my
But you have
goodness.
to find me
You'll buy it.
in a comment on a Crazy Aaron Silly Putty giving a mouthfeel rating, and I will send you a snail magnet.
You're ridiculous. What are you gonna do if that happens now?
I'm gonna laugh
I've only got
so
so many
hard.
snails. You can't be just giving them
You got
away.
look. We can set aside one magnet for the
One? Okay, one.
yeah. That's
Fine,
first person
one.
only, guys.
But no eating it.
Well,
No. Hard
what you
no.
do with it is your choice.
I'm not gonna.
We
No.
won't send you one that has candy in it, but I'll tell you. How about this? We'll send you one, and then I'll tell you which ones have candy that
No.
you can eat.
The answer's gonna be none. None of them. Zero.
Well, it'll be revealed if you.
Oh,
Do,
hey, it's
so,
done.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the cooler snails. I think I like the colors. I think it did end up being a lot bigger than I expected when you were talking about it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But I was okay with it. It's definitely on the larger side, but that's okay.
Well, thanks to everyone who stuck around to the
Yeah.
end here.
Thanks for hanging out while we randomly chit-chatted.
If you have any ideas or comments, or if you want to say something nice about the editing, then feel free to leave that in the comments.
Leave a comment.
And like and subscribe and all that. Otherwise, we are going to try to do a short version of this one still, and then we'll drop another series of 3 of the next snail.
Yes, as soon as I can get around to videoing it.
Maybe it'll be One Piece, who knows?
Oh, don't make promises we can't keep.
Well, now we have to do it.
Bye.
Bye.